Hello, hello, and welcome to another Rise Up TX Talk. This is the podcast where we're diving into ideas and strategies on how to transform experience into business growth. I am your host, Camila Ferreira, an award winning CX leader, an author of Long Live CX, available on Amazon, and an international speaker. Today, I have the pleasure to welcome Diana Tlapale directly from Panama to talk about the power of experience led marketing and what are the lessons from leading brands across the Americas. So, with no further ado, Diana, please introduce yourself and tell the audience how you transform experience into business growth.
Super. Thank you so much, Cami. Thank you for the invitation. I'm really glad to be here. It's a really honor to share. In everywhere that I have invitation, the experiences that I had in my professional life. I had 15 years of experience right now in digital marketing events, influencers, celebrities. So it's a really pleasure to share what is behind the scenes.
Wow, amazing. Yes, and I know that it was you had a flight this morning, but you decided to stay here and share those experiences. So I can't be more thankful for having you here, particularly because I know that what you have to share is going to delight a lot of our audience. So I have prepared a few questions here for us to go through, but I want to invite the audience as well to engage, to ask questions, and I'm going to do my best to bring them on the virtual stage so we can have a very flawlessly, look at me, and delightful experience. So let me get it started. And the first question is about your work spanning from major global brands and now FemTech that I really want you to explain what it is. But what have these environments taught you about the role of experience in driving marketing success and business growth?
Yeah, it's a really amazing questions. To be honest, I saw the interview coming and I was super excited to share, even though since the beginning of my experience. So let me tell you and answer you the first questions. I had experience in different industries, as I mentioned, like CPG brands, like technology brands, and now it's my first time in femtech industry. So the difference that I have made is that there's a small adjustment in femtech that is emotional. There's a lot of emotions here. The users, which are in fem totally, they are interested in to be listening, to be empathic, and to be like commitment, etc. So it's a really nice right now that I'm working in femtech because I can see the real people in our community. And talking about that, Amma, it's an application who has a mission that makes families happier and taking care about that. Any spot into the application, you will find a care and deeply understanding in what's the behavior of the women in stage like pregnancy, right? And besides that, also we have making brands happier because we are giving them the tools, we are giving them the behaviors of the audience, and that's why we can do this cross lead marketing to offer real things, not only advertising like or sponsorships or something like that. It's just like an kind of a strategy, like deeply strategy, knowing insights and benchmarks about our audience. So this is the great difference, and the big lessons are that even though our audience wanted to feel supported and confident, and also the brands, and that's why we offer this to both sides.
Wow. I was kind of listening to you, and something that is stuck to me was actually the connection with the purpose. Because you mentioned you have already worked for such big brands that today are became your partners at Amma.
Yeah.
But at the end, we are connecting with such an important moment in life for women, which is pregnancy. And this is the purpose, right? Is how do you bring all of those brands that invest millions in develop products, in developing services? How do this actually connect with this important moment in life? So I think if something stays with me is definitely the connection between product, service, and purpose that has absolutely everything to do with experience.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's mix, or kind of a strategy mix, because we start with evidence and empathy with the audience first of all. Why evidence? Because all the content inside AMA is medical evidence, with sources. We have experts, we have a really, really huge editorial team that can help us to give to the audience a realistic and evidence-based information, and that make us be empathy with the audience, because of course there's a lot of information in the internet, there's a lot of content, there's a lot of, even your mom could give you some advices in this stage, or your aunts, or your grandmother, whatever. But what is happening in the reality? The pediatrics are okay, the gynecologists are okay, the psychologists are okay. So we just give them this empathy and this confidence to go to AMA and just to chat each other, to in our community with women at the same stage. So another important product values that we have in AMA is the scientific knowledge that I mentioned. Is not only medical based evidence, also scientific, because it's important to let them know the realistic in this stage. Everyone thought like, okay, to be pregnant women, it's an amazing stage. It's yes, but what happened with the women? I don't know, Cami, if you are mom, but
Yes,
I
I
maybe you can also share some stories. We just have some like kind of UGC, user generated content, internally in AMA, and they are, all our women's are sharing stories, and 80% of the stories are sad, are like, oh my god, all my family is asking just for the baby, not for me, and nobody understand me, so they feel alone, and Amma is there just to be your best friend.
am.
So this is one of the most important things that we are growing together with our product team, which is, as I mentioned, this part of emotional support and um, scientific knowledge, which is really important in terms of the product. Then when we see the brands are also worried to know how to speak with this audience, how to go and offer products or vitamins or nutrition or toys, then they come to us and they say, Amma, I don't know how to talk with this audience. Can you help me with your evidence base, with your audience base? And then this is the secret, I think. The key is to understand the brands and also the moms, because they trust in us. So we cannot just put it one brand today and another brand today, even they are competitors. No, this is not the reality. We are not a traditional media. We are giving the real strategy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is lovely. And the more I get to know, the more in love I get, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Of course, that you and I have talked about your role at AMA and what AMA does. But as a parent myself, I know I have gone through these questions so many nights, not sleeping or feeding the baby. And being a part of a community that you trust makes such a huge difference. Because we all have questions. First time moms, we are stepping into the unknown. And as you said, maybe you have friends recommending something, but family members suggesting something else. Who are you going to trust?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So
Right? And I think something that you mentioned that is really important is this empathy both ways. Empathy with those women stepping into the unknown, because I don't know, I just have one child. I haven't decided to go for the second yet, and I'm not sure if I
okay,
will. But
let's go, Camille. Let's go, and then you can use Amma for sure.
oh, that for sure. I have no doubt about it. But again, every pregnancy is unique, right? And what do you the questions? Of course, if I get pregnant again, most of the questions and the challenge that I faced in my first pregnancy, I will deal in a completely different way. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have other questions. How is being a mom of two? How do I deal with the age difference and so on and so forth? So there's
Yeah,
something that you mentioned that I truly agree with you that is unique, which is the empathy, both
exactly,
ways.
exactly.
You
Both ways.
understanding the brands and what they sold for, because as I said before, there are millions of dollars of investment to design those products, to design those services. But at the same time, is how do I translate these into something memorable? It's not only kind of selling a product, right? When you kind of buy a diaper, just to kind of get to a simple example here. So, what are the questions that a first time mom has in mind before buying a diaper? Or when you are feeding your baby, or when there are so many things that
So
we
many.
can think of, but I think it's very a crucial connection that you mentioned and I loved is the empathy, understanding both sides and connecting them when they need them the most to create something memorable. And that's when the purpose comes into place. So I love it.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. This is the purpose now. And remember, our mission also is making families happier, because also we found that the fathers, the dads, are feeling super alone. We did also some researches and some of surveys inside amma, and we found that, and nobody care about the dad, to be honest, just the mom and the baby, or even no, just the baby. So yeah, it's an application focused on the full family, to be honest.
Yeah, and we have here some comments. Let me put on the screen. So the first one is a solopreneur who support companies. I'm excited to be here and learn more about this. That's
No, thank you.
great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. There's another one. How amazing. I never heard of anything like this 20 years ago when I was raising my girls.
Ah,
You see? It's very much needed. And I agree. I
yeah.
definitely agree. I love the purpose of AMA. And one of the questions I had here for you, something that you have already answered, but is how do you translate these human insights into the strategies brands can activate and scale? Empathy, data, connecting. And if I used to say that you give to get, right? So you have a lot of information coming through AMA. How can you serve the different parties involved in the best way possible that they can create those memorable moments?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the data give us clarity, and the good thing is that our community inside AMA, they are always super open to share everything, even though we can ask them how many diapers do you have in your home right now, and they answer, mainly all the questions that we wanted to know, like for example, what is the real worry about a mom? And some of them are really worried about with finance things, like, oh my god, I'm really worried about my finance right now. How can you connect up, for example, nutrition brand, if a mom is super worried about the finance?
Absolutely.
It's
Yes.
really interesting how to reach out this audience with different way of thinking. And the big brands are focused on just to put it the brand there, so that's why the strategies are more intelligent, even though with, for example, sampling, with content, with educational things. So this is the secret, I think.
Yeah. And it's funny because you mentioned those questions that come up. And I do remember when I was pregnant, all that I heard about was delivery, kind of the maybe the concept or the thought on the delivery part of the baby, that in my case it was pretty smooth, but when I got back home from the hospital with that little one, and I'm like, what am I going to do next?
Yeah.
And breastfeeding to me was one of the most challenging parts
Exactly.
of my motherhood, and I haven't read about it, I haven't talked about it before breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, I was in front of a situation that I was not familiar with. It was completely new to me. I did not have many people to kind of talk about it because I didn't have many friends and having
Exactly.
kids at the same time. So, again, just for us to know that sometimes we are so much focused on something and the experiences that you're going to have or the challenges that you're going to face are completely different. But it's
Yes.
important to mention that, like you, many others will face that too. And having a community, having a place where you can share very openly, very transparently what you're going through and get support.
Exactly. Get support each other. This is the one of the goals also from amma. So they are just enter to amma is the best friend right now, and starting just to chat each other, and really they are making a lot. One of the moms, for example, can enter at 8 to 9 times per day just to see what is new.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's crazy thing. To be honest, I never imagined, Cami, because I was just leading big brands. For example, I was working with a big brand in CPG, and my goals are was, for example, to make the media investment in whole World Cup, for example, or
Mhm.
in the technology part, I also was in charge of the whole marketing plan. And now, I mean, it's different approach. It's just to understand what we can offer, what is the real feeling into the community, into the moms, into the human thing. So forget about AI, forget about all the things that is happening into the digital industries. That reality, the real mom, right? So yeah, it's amazing for me, to be honest, to be here.
Oh yeah, and then it's so interesting that you mention AI because AI plays no role here, right? So it's
Yeah,
all
no.
about being humans and connection and
Yes.
empathy. And it's of course in my field of customer experience, we have been talking a lot about AI, and not only in my field, so all over the place. But when we talk about being a mom, kind of bringing someone to life, it's
Yeah.
all about being human and connection. Maybe the AI will help with the data, but the most part of
Yeah.
it is being human. And
Exactly.
speaking of data, so you mentioned your analytical background, which I like very much. Whoever knows me knows that I love numbers and I love data. So, how do you blend data with intuition and creativity and purpose, right? To
Yeah.
design
Yeah.
meaningful customer experiences?
Wow, this is an amazing question, Scammy. Well, let me tell you just a little bit background. I used to take a lot of courses, and one of the most important that I took was business analytics, and they are just focused on the thing of money, right? But now here it's different approach because we have to focus on money for sure, but also on the emotional part. So this part that you mentioned is creativity and intuition. Yes, it's one of the most important parts of the funnel, but I always start with data. Why? Because data shows behaviors, shows opportunities, shows gaps, shows everything we wanted to know. And here, yes, AI is the tool for sure, but we base it on these tools, on these numbers, on this data, then we can do a strategy, focus on this part of the intuition. Then we go to the brands, we go to the partners, and just ask. I always tell my team, guys, we have to ask. Don't wait just to be like the questions from the brand. No, you have to ask firstly to understand what they want, right? And then we found that they want everything. They want to be there, they want to advertising, and also they want to trust, and also they want commitment, and also they want to trial, right? So then this data analytic can give us the reality to say, guys, right now, your stage as a brand is here. We can do this or that according to the intuition, according to the creativity with our audience. So this is important also to mention, Cami, that the data that we use in AMA is really deeply, even
Yeah.
though we can know how many dollars they spend in diapers, in nutrition, whatever, they can answer whatever we want.
Wow, that's a power of community, right? Because if you have such a high level of answer rate, it means that your community is very much engaged and
Mhm.
committed. And once you have a community like this, again, you can translate maybe perception in the first sight into data and then conversion. And that's
Ex-
what this podcast is all about. So how you
yeah.
transform experience into business growth. Some
Mhm.
people may look at this and say, no, what can I get from this? This is just a community. No, this is the power of
Yeah, yeah,
community
yeah.
because then you can know how they are feeling, what they are doing with this, and what is the best moment for you to introduce solutions and connect with empathy.
Exactly.
It's
Totally.
all
Totally.
about business.
Yes, exactly.
No, I love it. I love it because again, not all leaders are data oriented or are data driven. And I do agree that data don't tell the whole story, but data don't lie,
Data
right?
don't lie. Yeah. Data give us the clarity. Now it's our mantra. Data give us the clarity. Always.
Absolutely. It's interesting because right before this episode, I was with one of my clients and we were working on the sales funnel.
Hmm.
And of course, when you have start having the conversation, oh, I think this or I think that, what I have observed, like let's see if the data confirms or denies this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's why I like data so much
Yes.
because, as you said, it gives us clarity. It helps us making smarter decisions, and at the end of the day, drive more conversion, which we are all looking for as a business as business owners or business leaders.
Yeah, yes, totally, totally. And real conversion.
Real conversion, yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me go. Let me move forward. I have another question here, which is as a leader managing teams and markets across the Americas. So let's now kind of switch gears to leadership.
Yeah.
What have been your biggest lessons? And I love this question in building a culture that delivers consistent experience. I know that managing people in different cultures, in different countries, in different languages adds a lot of challenges and complexity to leadership. So, how do you deal with this?
Yes, no, totally. To be honest, consistency is one of the keys. But another important key to manage team in every part of the Americas region is not only to talk English, not only to speak Spanish, is also to speak slangs. To know how to approach your team, because it's not the same the people in Colombia or the people in Chile or the people in Mexico or the people even in Brazil. I mean, I know Portuguese, but it's not the same to just to tell the rules or the strategy in Portuguese than as a local slangs. It's not the same. So it's really challenging, to be honest. I was sharing with my best friend, the last days, that one of the most difficult works, I think, in the life, in the industry in general, is manage teams, because you are not working with data or with numbers. You are working with emotions with your team, or even though if they are not feeling so well sometimes, and then we have a crisis in the work, and they have a lot of campaigns and they have a lot of jobs. You have to be super calm as a leader, super strategic thinking, and to be super cold mind, because otherwise you will be killed. I mean, by yourself, with your own emotions, right? So yeah, this is one of the most important things. But talking about amma, we have four values which are super important, and the first one is direct communication. Direct communication driving us to be super transparent, right? My bosses actually are not here, are not in Americas, even they are in Europe. So sometimes I have meetings like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and I really enjoy, because I really like to work with them. But they are always like super direct. They are like with a real strong personality, and this makes me to be also like that with the team in Americas, and that's why we have a lot of success right now. um because sometimes you can change your mind one day, then you change another day, and here not, is super clearly the direction. The second value is the trust. Imagine, Cami, you have a business and you deliver all the business in the other side of the world with no, I mean, just trust.
Yeah.
They trust, even though they give you access to, for example, whatever data, and they just trust in you. And this is, to be honest, a really, really, really appreciate value. Because we forgot about politics, we forgot about like these big organizations and approval. No, it's just like trust. Diana, do whatever you need. Right now, as an executive director of Americas, I can have this trust from my team, from my global team, to take the decisions that is needed just for the health business, right? The third value is mutuality. And this is one of the things that I have in my heart, Cami. And this is the first time that I heard in one company, which is mainly we grow only when we grow together. So we can also put it out in a tattoo if we want. We grow only when we grow together. And when we started to grow, really, we have everyone a growth, even rises, even change positions, even whatever. We have it if we grow together. Not only one person, not only one boss, not. And this is also again make us super happier. And the
Absolutely.
fourth value is data informed mindset. And what does means? As you mentioned, you love data, and me too, and I love numbers. And my data driven mindset is that okay, we love our team, but they each one have one goal to accomplish or to achieve, and this is the data. And as you mentioned, data don't lie. So with all these emotions, values, we finalize with data, because at the end is a number, and the number also makes the business. But mainly those are the values that we can right now share with all the audience here, that America's in amma is working like this way.
Wow. 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 Amazing. Yes. No, absolutely. And I can feel the energy by kind of that you delivers by saying all of those values and how much you embed it, because this is so important as well. Sometimes other organizations, we do have those values on the wall, but what they experience on the floor is completely different. But this is definitely not the case just by hearing you talking about them. It's one of them in particularly I like very much, which is trust. The more you grow in organizations that are global like yours, um, again, trust is something that is learned as part of culture. And when we start dealing with different cultures, how do you build trust
Exactly,
in
exactly,
different cultures? So you were just touching these on the part of communication. And I have experienced the same. I have lived in three different Spanish speak countries. In each of those countries, they speak Spanish differently and express their feelings and sentiments and everything in a completely different way.
exactly.
How do you build trust in an environment that is so different to each other?
Yes, imagine
Right.
that.
So I love it. It definitely needs to be something that is the backbone of the organization, which will translate it into hiring, because you're going to hire people that share the same values, that will act in the same way. And this is what creates this ecosystem that permeates the different levels of the organization. So, wow, amazing. I am kind of mesmerized here.
Yeah, please, please.
Okay, so we are approaching the end, but I do have one last question for you, and I really want to talk about you
Okay.
because you have been recognized as the Woman of the Year.
Yes.
Wow, and
Yes.
nominated for Future is Female.
Yes. Yes.
So this is just amazing, just to start. But how has your personal story shaped the marketer and leader that you've become, and how does it influence the experience you create for brands?
Wow. Well, let's get back 15 years ago. I was
I was a baby.
I was a baby, I was studying finance, and the name was like bank and finance, something like that, in Mexico. I was studying in Mexico, and then I just got in love with marketing, right? So I just started to manage some budgets regarding marketing media with my background in finance. And then I just started to have a lot of projects inside marketing, and then I got more in love, and then I started to do influencers. I mean, a lot of years ago, when they started to appear, when an influencer was like super new, and then let's buy whatever, like whatever influencer. Also, I had a chance to build massive events. I mean, really massive events. My KPI, I remember that was like 60,000 people in one event.
Wow.
Imagine. So for this, I have to do this media part and all the, um, convocatory and all of these cases. So talking about that, this makes me grow internally to know what I really want. After to manage big events and also the World Cup and celebrities and influencers, then I went also to magazines. So I was managing some magazines, editorial things, and some events into the magazines. And after that, I went to technology. So I have like, these big pictures in all that stages in the life. And how, I mean, talking about your question, that how this experience could right now traduce in the business growth or my experiences is because of that. I mean, because I know this part of the events, I know this part of celebrities, I know, I mean, all the picture in the holistic approach talking about. And I can right now offer the brands or offer the sponsors or offer the partners what they really need, because I also was a brand. I also was as a magazine, for example, right? So I can understand how to offer or what to offer them to be super sure that they will get the real results and not only, promises. It's a big responsibility to make these promises happen, because I can say like, yes, I can give you, I mean, a list of wishes, but if
Mhm.
I cannot, then I lose the trust. And that's why we mentioned that the trust is a gift from a person, a gift from you, for example, Cami, a gift from everyone. But the trust, with one fail, you can lose that.
Yes.
So that's, I think, the experience that I have can allow me to offer right now and compare to business growth. Because when I started to do this position in this startup, because it wasn't a startup, and to be honest, was super small when I started. Actually, I was the first hired in Latin America, and then we expand in just 3 years. So again, is, I think the experience that I have in the holistic, each point and foundation that the industry offers.
Wow. No wonders why you were recognized as the Woman of the Year. So,
Yeah,
first
thank
of
you.
all, congratulations. It's amazing. But more than the title, at least that's how I see it, more than the title is what you just said. It's being able to deliver on the trust that people put on me,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, again, no matter if you are having a one-on-one conversation or if you are speaking to a stadium, so that people put trust that you would deliver what they were expecting to.
Hmm.
And it means a lot. So yeah,
Yes.
no, absolutely. And you had it all from influencers, magazines, social media. You definitely navigate all the rough and calm waters and succeed. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, Cam.
And you won't believe me, but time flew and we are
Oh
approaching the
no.
end. I know I could stay here all day
Yes, yes, yes,
long
yes, yes.
talking. But like me, I'm pretty sure that the audience is mesmerized as well. So, what is the best way to get in contact with you? What are the projects that you have in flight? So, what do you want to share with the audience before we wrap up today?
Yeah, I mean, I'm able to receive any questions in LinkedIn, or even though in this chat also, Cami. I mean, I am super happy to answer whatever. And mainly the products. I mean, let us put it out in the imagination, because I wanted to understand firstly before offer. Whatever product or whatever space. So I think we should just listen each other and understand what is the business goal.
Amazing, amazing. So, Diana, thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you here today, sharing not only your story, but how you do business, how you transform experience into business growth. And I'm pretty sure that not only me, but everybody who was attending live and if you watch this later, will learn a lot from you. So, I can only thank you for taking the time and share
Thank
your
you.
wisdom and your love with us, because I can tell you, just by listening to you, we can feel the passion and the love for what you do. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Cami. Thank you for the space and thank you for the audience that listen to us. And I'm really happy to share this, Cami. Thank you.
No, thank you. And for you all, stay tuned until the next episode. Thank you so much.